arrays and application of iterators on arrays. Welcome to Ravisoft. Let's see what is an array. Array is a list values of similar type storing into a single variable, multiple values, right? You see the example of student names in a class, A1, A2, A3, XX, YY, right? So these are all same string variables, values, storing into a single variable called student names. Otherwise, you have to declare so many string variables and store each value into that, which is in an inefficient way. So we have a variable which is an array of strings and storing the values into that, right? So now I want to print each value in this variable separately, right? That is A1, A2, A3. How to access arrays values in an array? See, this is the 0th index. This is the first index, second, third, fourth, like that it will go. So if I have the variable name, student names of 0, let's say this is 1, right? Let me uncomment this for now. So if you see student names is a variable name and square brackets 0, that means you are accessing 0th element of this variable. So how variables in a student array variable values are stored in the 0th, it has indexes, right? So it has 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So 0th index is A1. How do you access that variable to print? Student names and square bracket 0 and square brackets 1, square brackets 2, like that. Variable name and 3. So this is what is between these square brackets. What is this? Index of the array. We call it index. What is this? A1 is a value of the value stored in this index location, right? A2 is a value. Is 0, 1, 2, 3 are indexes, right? So difference between there is an index and a value. This is very important in a arrays. So if student names of 0, student names of 1, student names of 2, like that I am printing here, right? But how many console log statements we write? If the array contains 100 elements, do we require to write 100 console log statements, which is not practical and not feasible and not efficient way, right? So how to solve it more easier way? We have seen in iterators, we have to repeat same thing, similar logic we have, and we used to used for loop to print the same console log. We print multiple numbers, 0 to 1, 0 to 10 we printed, 10 to reverse order we printed, but with not so many 10 times we didn't write console log, right? We used for loop. Similarly, here also we use for loop. For we discussed earlier in our earlier video, let I is equal to 0, which is the initialization part, I less than student names dot length. Earlier we have I less than 10. When we used to print 0 to 1, 0 to 10, we have 10 is a number we have kept, and I plus plus is an incremental operator. You check for loop video for more information on for loop. Now what we have done, console.log student names. In the square bracket I used I. What is I? Index, right? We are not 0, 1, 2, 3, right? First 0 I value is what? In the first loop I is 0. The student name of 0, like this, student name of 0, like console.log student names of 0, that it prints. Next loop 1, this one. Next loop 2, right here. Next loop 3. So once, what is the length? The student names dot length is a function. Length is a function on student name. We will talk about functions and all later. In the variable, if you say dot length, it give you number of elements in a array. How many number of elements array has? This array A1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this loop runs for 5 times. 5 times, okay. But if you see from 0, length is 5, less than 5, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It will end at 4, and fifth loop it won't run because I become 5 and 5 less than 5. No, it's false, right? It will break the loop and come outside, right? So you have to understand the length is number of elements. When I loop, indexes are 0 to 4. So that's a major difference you have to observe. The length is number of elements in an array, that is 5. But if you start counting, index is like counting 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So 4 is not length, 5 is length, because but why it stopped at 4? Because you are counting from 0. That means always it will be 1 less, the count wise it's 4, 0 to 4. That is a major observation you have to make, and keep note of that. That is going to be very useful in your projects, right? This is how you have to apply for loop on arrays, right? So, and you can write, you can create one more array of marks, and then print all marks in using for loop, okay, as exercise. Look for printing array of elements. Print array of strings, array of numbers, array of tuples using for loop. We discussed all data types, right? Here we used strings as array. We can create array of numbers and array of tuples, binaries, anything, any data type we create array and try to use for loop and print them, the values in the array. That is a good exercise which makes better. Unless you write the code, you don't get feel of that. Okay, so whenever you are looking at the video, pause the video, start typing in your editor and compile, right? Compile, execute. See the installation. If you have not done the installation of TypeScript, please look into install of TypeScript video and install in your IDE. Use Visual Studio IDE. I am using Visual Studio. You also please use that. Okay, TSC, and then I am writing, right? So here I have to save this file. TS file. Sorry. No. JS. So it's printed on the A1 elements. Right? Hope you enjoyed the class, and we will see further on for loops in the next video.